project, do I then get a certificate?
Only if you want one.
I do. I love a certificate.
Oh, the piece of papers. People love a piece of paper, eh?
Well, it's future employers like it more than I do, to be fair.
Jesus, people value our training. They value a piece of paper that we give out.
Well, I hope
Sure.
so.
So do I. Right. So it looks like everyone here has built the container before. Gary, you did last week, didn't you?
I did, indeed.
Yeah. Katie, you're an old hand. Ali, you've done it a couple of times. Charlie's just going, don't fucking ask me. I do this all the time. Don't ask me. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, does anyone want to do it? I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here's Becca. Let's nail her.
Is there cheap drugs being sold somewhere we don't know about?
Hello, Becca.
Hello.
How are you? Cool. Here comes Steph. Oh. How are you, Steph?
Hi, David. Lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We'll wait one more minute for Craig, the other dodgy gambler. Okay. All right, everyone. So welcome. Let's start. So Kerry, first of all, welcome. I know Kerry's done the 3-day intensive training and now is joining us to do 10 weeks of this to complete 20 hours to receive a certificate as a systemic wellness practitioner. And a systemic wellness practitioner uses coaching as a skill set to enhance their professional role within their lived experience recovery organization. How's that for a sales pitch? Would you concur with me? Yeah? All right. So the way this works is we've got the theory, yeah, we've got the practice, and then we've got the process. Yep. And everyone needs to go through the process through the practice. Yep. So I'm going to throw Becca under the bus because she's been here twice, so she should be a professional now. And I'm going to say, Becca, will you build the container? And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Pardon?
I thought it would be me. I had an idea. I had it in my head.
And that's what intuition works. I'm also going to make you a co-host. So it's container and admitting people as well when they come in. So when somebody comes in, you admit them and you catch them up. Yeah. So I'll model that for you. Hello, Paolo. Welcome. We're just building the container. Would you like to check in?
Thank you, David. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Glad to be here.
Great stuff.
Lovely. We've just got Craig coming in.
Over to you, Becca.
Lovely. Thank you. Welcome, Craig. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for coming today. For those who are usually here on a Thursday and also for those who have just joined. So we're just going to start building the container. So I just want to go around the room and just ask you guys kind of how you are, just to check in with everyone. So I'm going to nominate, I'll nominate myself to go first and then I'll ask someone else. And then we'll just do a little bit of a daisy chain where you then nominate the next person. So hi, I'm Becca from Epic Restart Foundation, and I'm feeling a little bit nervous. It's my first time. I know this is something that I'm going to be doing a lot in the future, so I better get used to it. But yeah, I'm feeling quite nervous, but quite excited to kind of take that control and facilitate the group for today. So I will nominate Katie. Hello.
Hello, my intuition must be working because I knew you was going to nominate me. I'm Katie. For those that don't know, I work for Reach Out and Recover, which is the Lero in Kent. Today, I'm so grateful for this space. I feel really peopled out. I just had so much this last week. I'm absolutely mentally knackered, but I've got 2 weeks off next week. So it's a mad rush today and tomorrow to get all that stuff done so I can actually relax and switch my brain off. So yeah, it's just nice to be in this space. Thank you. And I will pass it on to Ali.
Thanks, Katie. And Becca, I'm so glad it's you in the hot seat today. How am I feeling? I'm feeling a little bit anxious. I've organised an event for tomorrow at our Liam Lane recovery hub for International Women's Day. I've never organised an event before. So it's all ready to go. It's just, will people turn up? And that's completely outside my control. So I've been reading a book called Let Them, all about trying to deal with not having control and letting people do stuff. Because I'm not allowed to control the world. Why that is, I don't know, but people have not delegated me to do that, so I'm not allowed. I know it's shocking, Katie. I am horrified every time somebody doesn't think that I'm the smartest person in the room and should be running everything. I mean, I am joking, but it's been really interesting doing it. Anyway, yeah, so that's how I'm feeling today, and I'm working late tonight because I'm facilitating a smart meeting for one of my colleagues. So I've got a long day ahead of me. But yeah, feeling pretty good, pretty positive. I will nominate Gary.
Thanks, Ali. Yeah, I'm checking in, tired. I only getting that from work at 8 this morning, and yeah, had about an hour's sleep. But yeah, always glad to be here, like always, and yeah, looking forward to the group ahead. I will nominate Charlie.
Well, I am checking in, eating chicken, rice, and veg, the normal go-to for a gym rat like myself. Thursdays are always epic, absolutely epic. I won't go home till about 9 o'clock tonight. I'm full of containers, full of meeting people, full of AA meetings, and the sun is shining in the northeast of England, and it is what a beautiful day. Honestly, even when I was driving, I had on like really good music. My mood was great. I've had a really relaxed week. I'm having some good gym sessions at the moment, and I'm just getting ready for the summer. That's what I'm doing. I am getting ready. I'm getting geared up for the summer. I'm checking in with Joy, guys, and I will tag Craig.
Hiya. Sorry to bring the mood down a bit, but I'm not present at the minute because I've just had to fill a safeguarding concern out. And it's really playing on my mind. I know that I've done the right thing, but it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I've went behind their back, but I guess that's my job, innit? Like, we've got to raise the concern when we see it, and yeah, I just don't know, I just feel a bit flat, like. Kerry.
Oh, Kerry, I think you're on mute.
Have I done it?
There we go. Perfect. Hi, Kerry.
Yeah, I'm Kerry, a recovery coach for a community coach for Recovery Connections in Middlesbrough. And this is my first time. I'm a bit nervous. Don't know what to expect, but I love the 3-day training and the online one that I've done. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Kerry. And would you like to nominate someone? I think we've got one person left, maybe Steph.
Steph, yeah, I can't really see, and I can only see the top ones, but they've already been on. So
no worries. Yeah, I think we've got Steph last.
Steph,
Hi,
yes.
Kerry. Lovely to meet you.
Hiya.
Hiya. And Craig, if you want some time at the end of all this, you know, I'm here, or me and Becca, we're here for you. So if you want some time after this session, honestly, grab a coffee and we can have a chat. It's never nice when you have your first safeguarding experience as a coach. How am I checking in? I'm Pinky Perky today. So I've had a long week. I've had some complex cases as well. Met up with Becca, who's in my team, yesterday, which was really lovely. We always enjoy our face-to-faces because it gets difficult working on your own and in isolation. So it's important to me that me and Becca have that face-to-face time. And so that was lovely. And just, yeah, a busy week, complex cases as always. And I'm excited because next week we're doing some filming together. So really looking forward to that. We've got a fun day on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I'm speaking at quite a big event for Break Even. So yeah, exciting times, but busy times. And I'm Pinky and Perky.
Nice, amazing. Love that, Pinky and Perky. Yeah, there's some really kind of mixed check-ins today, aren't there? Where, you know, we're feeling Pinky and Perky, maybe a little bit nervous. I know I said that as well, a bit anxious, maybe a bit tired. Sometimes we can be quite peopled out, especially in the kind of line of work that we're in as well. If we're kind of speaking to a number of different people with different concerns as well, we can really absorb that, a lot of that energy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, David.
Yeah.
Did I forget you to check in?
It's all right. I'm checking in good. I'm
Good.
loving the way this is going. What I want to try is I want to jump into a breakout room with Craig. So me and Craig will jump into a breakout room. Is that all right with you, Craig? I hope you're saying yes. And then
Yeah,
we'll come back in a minute, see if that works.
Shall
So
I continue,
Craig,
David, then?
yeah, you
With Craig,
continue.
yeah.
And hopefully Craig can jump to that room. And you lot can carry on. And there we go. Go for it.
Perfect.
You're doing fab as always, Becca.
Thank you. Okay, great. Yeah, I was a little bit concerned, so I hope that David and Craig have a good conversation. And it's interesting, that kind of subject of safeguarding that does come up. As we said, we're sometimes quite peopled out. Sometimes that energy can go, especially if there are kind of particularly kind of concerns with someone's safety and safeguarding as well. So yeah, definitely a subject to sometimes talk about. So would anyone like to kind of bring anything to the container, maybe from these check-ins? Something's kind of sparked someone maybe this week, anything that's kind of popped up in your mind that you thought, oh, you know what, I'll bring that to this kind of safe space that is our kind of coaching training. So would anyone like to start?
Could I bring something to the container?
Of course you can, Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, foot in my mouth. I've got a brother and sister who are really in addiction. Crack cocaine and heroin. And both of them are very much in the culture of addiction, very much so. We and suffered quite a lot of trauma as kids, me and my brothers and my sisters. And one of my brothers died in addiction. And so I used to judge them. I used to judge my brother and sister. I never judged them myself. I used to judge them more than what I judged myself, because they were taking what I thought were below class of drugs as myself. So I always judged them more, and it was never me. But what happened to me yesterday was I got a phone call at 2 different times that my sister and my brother are really struggling. They're really struggling in their addiction. And I knew that they were struggling. And my mum phoned me. And when my mum phones me, it's like the bat call. You know, it's like the Batman call. And she said, please, can you try and speak him into them? and I completely noticed a change in my behaviour actually. Normally, like in early in recovery, I would still judge. I would judge my family more than what I would judge the people that I was working with. I would judge my brother and sister more than what I would judge clients or people man around me. I don't know what it was, but I would judge them more. I would, I would of the case more. Um, and then I just noticed a change in my behaviour, I mean, yesterday. And it's really through the recovery coaching that I'm really learning humility and learning to love more, this unconditional love. And so my behaviour yesterday was to come at it with more love as a big brother. I came at it with all the love I had inside me. Because my family have been broken in pieces because of the trauma of our past and the only things. So I've got the tools because I I'm basically minute 46 I'd had enough. So I'm the only person in my family in my sets of families that has broke free from this. And so my brother and sister are still very much in it. And they're kind of looking at me now and going, well, if he's done it, how can we man do it? Um, so I was kind of caught in the middle, man, yesterday. I was caught in the middle as, I want to show them more unconditional, the love that I've never really showed them, the love that I didn't know that I could give. But in the same sense, I need to tell them the hard truth. I need to tell them the truth because both of them are telling me lies. Now, I know their behavior because I was in the behavior. I know what they're doing. They don't know that they're doing it. So I was really, really caught in this man dilemma. It's like I'm listening to him as a big man brother and trying to give them for the first time this unconditional love that I'm trying to give them and his family members, but also trying to give them the hard facts. And I found it really, really difficult to go, right, I can hear you. I love yous. But the hard fact is that it's not your partner's fault and it's not your my thingy's fault. It's the drugs. And my sister, said to me that she can't sleep because of night tremors. And I said to her, how much crackman did you take, man, yesterday? And she said, £300 worth. And I said to her, do you think that may be the problem? And she's like, no, no. So that's where I was like, okay, because then I thought, right, I kind of need to step back. I have gave them, gave them all the information and Cocaine Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous. That I've gave them all this and stuff. But my change of behaviour and just come at it with love instead of judging. And my question to the container was, how do we treat family members who are in addiction to be our clients or the other people man around us? So I'm just really, really curious if anybody else has got this problem that I have got. I say it's a problem. It's no man a problem because I'm coming at it from a more compassionate and a more unconditional, understanding. But I just don't know what the fuck to say to them. Thanks,
you,
guys, and I hope that made sense. And thanks, Becca.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie, because that's a lot of information. Oh, I think Steph has an answer.
I might not have an answer, Charlie, but yeah, what a dilemma. And you're handling it. I think you're handling it brilliantly. I think really, if that was me, I guess in your shoes, I'd probably say to them, do you want me to give you support like I would a client as a coach? Or do you want me to be the brother? So I'd push it perhaps back into their decision and say, in a professional environment, I'd probably say that you need to do X, Y, and Z. But as a brother, I respect any decision you make. So I'd perhaps separate Charlie as the professional, as the brother. Do you all think that might work? It's just an idea.
I like that because sometimes, if say a friend asks us an opinion, it's like, do you want me to give you advice or do you want me to listen?
Yeah.
And sometimes actually,
coach, or do you want me to be?
And actually asking that question can be really valuable because again, makes them feel like they're making that decision. Nice, thanks, Steph. Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. I actually really enjoyed listening to that. I know I struggle with them same things myself. Like yourself, a lot of family members still in addiction. Kind of struggle really struggle. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to use an example. My nephew. You know, he's only in his 20s, and like that, every now and then I get that call, that back call, as she said, from his mom, and and like you, I'm always looking. But here we go. I'm nearly digging deep for this moment where I'm about to tell him something groundbreaking, something that I've never said. That's just gonna make the fucking light switch go on from. And you know, I was listening to you saying you get more compassionate, and I'd be the same. I'm kind of giving them stuff in fellowship. I'm being a little bit more harder because it means more to me. And tell them the truth. But the sad thing is, no matter what approach I take, if I separate myself, that he's my nephew, he's an addict like every other addict I deal with during the day. You know, and it's hard. I kind of have to take step backs because it's not. It has become more about me. Because whereas I might deal with you know, someone else throughout the day, and whether it's in fellowship meetings or recovery coach, so they kind of don't seem interested, I think is the word. I kind of have that acceptance, you know, this is their journey, it is what it is. What can you do? When he doesn't seem interested, I nearly go to, are you fucking stupid? I mean, I just want to fucking slap him sometimes, you know. So I kind of have to mind myself, you know, and kind of reflect on my own journeys there. I think there was nothing anybody really could have said to me, you know, in my 20s, in my 30s, until I got it, that would have changed, because I just wasn't ready. So, you know, I just always remain available to him. I try and keep in contact with him more, so that I'm in his mind if he does choose to ask for the help himself. You know, that's my take on that. It might not be helpful, but I always think of when my own partner or my mother or whoever it was ringing people for help. I might have acted like I wanted to help, but I wasn't reaching out for myself. You know?
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, sometimes we do react differently if we are a family member or a friend, because we're closer to them, we're passionate. But yeah, with a client, we can maybe have that a bit more of those boundaries. Katie.
Yeah, it's more of a question to you, Charlie, actually. Do you feel in that situation that enormous pressure to fucking fix it? Oh my God, if I say the wrong thing now, if I don't get this right, am I going to send them further away?
I want to fix them unconditionally. I want to fix, project, advise. You know, I want all that stuff instantaneously as a big brother. I'll use the word my problem. The problem is that I know where we have been as a family. The trauma that we all suffered as kids. So I know this, and we've been through a mixture of all this. And I want to jump in for the first time in my life, actually, that I want to jump in, and I just want to hug the fuck out of them. I want to hug them and go, you're going to be all right. Because if this normal human being, you can do it. If it took me 46 and a half of years, then you can do it. But I never did that. I mean, yesterday, and I would find it very hard to divide myself into professional and the brother. I just can't do it. So I can only come at this from a big my brother with the tools that I've got at the back of my mind, still using these tools that men have got, but being very, very careful what comes out here. And it was just to really give them and give them phone numbers of where to go, listen to them, tell them that I'm here if they want to pick up the phone, um, and that was really it. It was really, really difficult. It was so difficult, honestly. It was and then my mum's in the background thinking I can fix both of them because I've got 2.5 years sobriety, you know. My mum's in the background. So yeah, the answer to your question is, Katie, I want to fix them. I want to advise them. I want to do all that and stuff. But I choose not to, if I'm honest with you. And I said to William and my brother that if he wants my phone number on Zoom, you're my Cocaine Anonymous, because there's only one or two here in Teesside, then he's to get in touch today, man, and I'll send him over. But he hasn't got in touch. So that I'm telling you, and I was the same as my sister, but I'm very tore up. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Charlie, for sharing that. I know that we have a couple of hands up as well. I just wanted to go to David and Craig, if that's okay, just to check in with you two.
Hey, thanks, Becca. So
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, cool. So I just want to say what I did there, just for safety of the, yeah. So I just felt it was good to take Craig offline just to get an assessment of kind of what's going on. It seems like the container, it worked, the technology worked, and things are all good. So Craig, thank you for that, and we'll pick it up in the second half what we learned from that. And it sounds like things are going well here.
Yeah,
I can
nice.
I can always tell when you're on a hot topic when Charlie's stuttering like that. So whatever's happening, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so exciting here. Love you, Charlie. Back to you, Becca. You're doing excellently, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been having great conversations, and thank you so much. I'm so glad that David and Craig are back, and it's really nice to see your smile back, Craig. I've missed it. Lovely. But yeah, so just before we kind of answer some of the hands up, Charlie brought a really nice kind of a discussion into the group at the beginning, when he was talking about kind of his brother and sister, and how actually he's had to kind of do a bit of an intervention yesterday, where his kind of mum kind of called and actually kind of asked Charlie to then come and help as well. So we're kind of talking about wanting to maybe fix people, and how sometimes that dynamic with family and friends in comparison with clients, sometimes actually we can maybe be a bit more kind of pushy to kind of try and get that person to seek help, and kind of maybe use different tools as we would do with clients as well. So trying to kind of think of that balance. So hopefully I've kind of described that enough for us to kind of get a feel of kind of the idea of what's going on in the group for David and Craig. But yeah, we had Paolo, I think, was next, so we can continue that discussion.
Thank you, Becca. Yeah, so this is, I'm going to share my experience here, and that is through the various containers that I've been in, I don't know, over the past five and a half years, something like that. This has come up a few times. And particularly when one is new, I don't know what that definition is that makes up new. I don't know if it's the amount of time one's been coaching, or how many hours, or how many clients, or I'm not sure what the makeup of new is 100%. But when a person, or definitely when I was new in recovery, in coaching, sorry, I with my mom tried to do some coaching. And then it kind of raised in one of the containers, and it came up, particularly when you're newer in coaching, don't go anywhere near a coaching family. It just causes a whole bunch of, because there's just too many dynamics, the roles just get all mashed, and then there's also like, it's definitely not objective at all. Maybe, as time goes by, it can become possible. I mean, I know what I've learned with my mom was that, also she's not young. I mean, she, not that long ago, moved had to migrate into a retirement place. So, someone that's also elderly, I had to learn this as well. Someone who's also elderly and been in their ways for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 decades, they're not easily going to be able to shift. any kind of thinking or behavior. But the important thing I learned from that was, and I've always kept in front of mind, is the role I'm in. And as time's gone by, I'm kind of embodying the coaching. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody, it could be anybody, it's almost as though through osmosis, I've embodied and picked up that coaching mechanism. But it's a conscious choice, particularly when it comes to family, to be wary. And it doesn't mean I can't be involved. It doesn't mean I can't assist in some way, shape, or form. I just need to be quite mindful of the fact if I start coaching that family member. And I can do it, but then I need to definitely have supervision around it. Or as is otherwise called here, supervision. And I definitely need to have that. With the family members, the dynamics are tenuous at best, I suppose. Anyway, that's just kind of what I've picked up. And it's got, like I said, it's come up a good few times in the containers I've been in. So I don't know, I thought I'd just share that.
Yeah, thank you, Paolo. Definitely kind of food for thought in terms of, yeah, as David's put in the group as well, in the chat, it's that clarity of the role, isn't it? That if you are working with family, you know, what kind of role are you bringing into that conversation? Thank you. We've got Gary.
Yeah, I was thinking there, Charlie, you know, about what we're talking about, and I'm not sure, well, I'm sure you would get it. I kind of get that same thing. So I work in the community I was born and reared in. So sometimes, even though, you know, I coach everybody that comes through the day program and I work with anybody, I do get times where people that I might have grown up with and used with, or sat in crackdowns with, or have queued with methadone clinics, and you know, I know these people 20, 25 years, and they come in, and I get that exact same thing. But I'm digging through the toolbox, and I'm kind of bypassing all the tools because, again, I'm looking for this one 5 or 6 letter sentence that's gonna like blow everything out of the water, and it's just gonna be a sentence that fixes them. And I'm quite aware I'm trying to fix these, and I even become all right with that. Yeah, I'm just gonna fix them, you know. But I just gotta fix them. That's, you know, because I go through the whole. This is why I do this. I do this for these people that I know my whole life, and then I'm nearly trying to become this fucking divine intervention where this one sentence it's groundbreaking stuff, and it's this is all I need to do, you know. But when I do, I get frustrated. Sometimes I need to come out and I need to have, you know, go in and have a little rant to do a work colleague, and it kind of comes down to my expectations on myself, you know. I don't know what that's about. It's just wanting people to have what I have, like yourself with your brother and sister. But yeah. As we were talking, I was thinking, I actually get that same thing when I'm sitting in a coaching session with people I know on a personal level. And you know, I had a fella the other day that I know about 20 odd years, and I remember the day this fella got put on antipsychotics. The two of us were in scamming the doctor. That's the only reason he's on them. And so I mean, coaching him, and he's telling me, no, like, I'm all right. I'm quite happy on my methadone and antipsychotics. Like, and I'm like that. I'm just wanting like, what the fuck, you know? But I can't, you know. Well, I do struggle. I struggle sometimes to use them tools that we have as coaches, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, Gary. Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it, when you talked about kind of skipping forward a little bit. If you do know someone, it's almost like, oh, well, I know them, so I know how to fix them, or I know what will work for them. And that kind of person-centered that we use in coaching sometimes goes out the window, doesn't it? Thank you for that. Katie.
Yeah, just you talking about that, and I am a huge, as you all know, I have to try and stop frapping, have to stop myself frapping, because I am just one of those people, and I do get really not involved, but I get so passionate that, like you said, Gary, I want to say that word that is going to change. It's going to be that divine intervention. It's going to be the thing that makes them go, okay, do you know what? I'm never going to use again, and everything is going to be fine. But what I found, and I'm really pleased, because I've just been coaching someone. It's quite a new thing, and I was worrying. You know, I was thinking about all these tools I have. What am I going to say that's going to work? That's going to do this? And I took a step back and remembered everything I've been learning here: the silences, the letting it come from them bringing the agenda. And actually, it's naturally and organically happened that she's now come to that place of making those decisions for herself. And I haven't had to do that. I've given her the space to do that. And I'm like, oh, do you know what? This shit works when I allow it to, instead of thinking too much and trying to fix and rescue someone. You know, just bringing someone to their own conclusions. And it's quite magical, really. So yeah, just wanted to share that bit.
Love that kind of reflection, like, oh, actually, what have I learnt? Let's use those skills. Silence, yeah, those kind of natural listening skills. Love that. Thank you, Katie. Steph.
That's lovely, Katie. My eldest granddaughter is nearly 16, Charlie, and she's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be biased anyway, but she is absolutely, isn't she, Becky? You've seen a picture of her. She's stunning. So she's at secondary school. She has come up against an awful lot of bullying and bitching and stuff like that. And I'm very close to her, so it's great. She talks to me about boys, and we have that very open relationship. And she broke down on me about 6 weeks ago, funny enough. And she said, Nan, I absolutely hate school. I'm so stressed about my mocks. She's been going through her mocks. I don't want to go into school. The girls are being horrible to me, blah, 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 blah. And so I said to her, I said, if you like, we can do a bit of coaching that Nanny does. And I said, we can do every Friday. How about we do a countdown? We text each other every Friday and we say something that great has happened to us in the week and something we absolutely love about each other on a text. And even my daughter said it really helped her, because I said to her, you know, let's sort of minimize the problem. You've nearly finished school, you're nearly there, so come on, let's do this countdown. And then in the last week, me and my husband are going to go and meet her from the school gates, and we're going to go out and have a celebration in town and everything. So she's got an end goal to it. It's actually coaching that I'm using. So David, my question is to you: have I been unprofessional, or have I overstepped the line?
What's the answer to that question, Steph?
My answer to the question is, I couldn't believe how effective it actually was, because she said to me that, you know, something good would happen in the week, and she'd think, oh, I'll text that to Nan on Friday. And I was texting her, rebuilding her self-worth, which others had eaten into. And I was sort of like saying on my texts to her, I was going, you know, oh, I just think, you know, you're so dedicated and you're really hardworking and you're committed. So I couldn't see a problem with it, but I was actually practicing what I do in my profession.
So I'm going to share some radical lived experience now, if that's all right.
Just before we go into that, I can see that Daisy's just joined the group.
Yeah, go girl.
Hi, Daisy.
Hiya.
Hiya. Just want to check in with you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I've just been on a 2-hour call, so I'm a little bit brain dead, but I wanted to come in when I could.
Amazing, thank you. So just at the beginning, actually, we were talking some from our some things that were coming out from our check-ins, that we were a bit peopled out, and sometimes we can be a bit exhausted. So totally get that, and it is nearly the weekend, so we're nearly there. But yeah, just to kind of bring you into the discussion before David continues that, we've just been kind of talking about kind of Charlie introduced a subject around his own family, where his mum actually asked him to kind of intervene a little bit, with his kind of siblings around addiction, and we started kind of going into the subject around fixing people. And actually sometimes when they are family members, when we're close to them, when they're friends, we actually do sometimes actually react differently, or the way that we would coach is very different to a family member than it is to, say, a friend. And trying to think about actually that balance and those kind of boundaries, thinking about the clarity of those roles as well. How can we make sure that we are kind of supporting them in the best way? And again, sometimes as a family member, it can be even more difficult as well to get through to them. So Steph was had a really nice example of speaking to her granddaughter about having a really bad week at school, and actually sometimes using those maybe softer coaching skills from her professional environment, actually then coming into her personal life as well. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. So thank you for joining. And David, hello.
Changed my mind, but I'll come back to it in a minute. But you've been facilitating for a good, 35 minutes now. So I thought this might be a good caveat, is that the right word, to just quickly close up this container, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back in. Yeah. So let's go around the room with one thing that you've learned from Becca holding the container. And I'll go first. I've learned that Becca's confidence has created a level of safety within me that really made me feel that, like, fuck, we've got this shit. So I'm filled with a lot of confidence and pride. I'm really proud of this profession and the work that we do out there. I'm going to tag my colleague Gary.
Thanks, David. We really enjoyed that, Becky. I think you done really well. You just seemed really natural at it, to be honest. And you just set like a nice tone. Along with your voice, it's just quite calming. And I learned listening in the container to charting that I think it's okay to just want people to have what we have. As for me, it's whether I get frustrated, whether I don't feel I'm doing enough, whether I feel like I do too much, whether I try and fix somebody, whatever it is. I always know that it's coming from a good place. It's coming from a place of just wanting people to live their best life. And it's nice to hear that other people struggle with the same thing. I will tag Ali.
Thanks, Gary. I learned that you've got a great memory, Becca. Like, I have menopause fog a lot of the time. It's particularly bad today, and I could not have done what you did and been able to synopsize as you did, and then bring in people as you did. That was a real skill, and it felt incredibly easy and really flowy. I'm not very present at the moment, but I am enjoying this, and it's really lovely to watch you work, Becca. I will tag Steph.
Obviously, Becca knows I'm incredibly proud of her, so I wouldn't expect anything less. She's an amazing lady. She's absolutely brilliant. And she's had a really long week as well. So to come out and do this, Becca, you're just a little super lady. Yeah, and I've learned what I knew anyway. You're amazing. So well done. Sorry, I'm going to do, because I've decided she's my new sort of bestie on here. Where's she gone? Katie. You're my bestie today, Katie. I like you, Katie.
Thank you very much. I feel very honoured. Great building of the container, Becca. Yeah, you made everyone feel very calm and relaxed, and that we're able to talk. And what I learned actually is, because I think last week I mentioned I was a bit full of self-doubt, and this week, do you know what? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. And you know, getting the confidence from this group and knowing we're going to come up against barriers and challenges, but we're all in it together, and we're getting there. We're doing okay, and proud to be part of this. I will tag Charlie.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, I think and Becca's brought, just very much everyone else has said, actually. A lovely demeanour. It's been that kind of informal but professional, lovely flow to the container, which is, yeah, everybody spoke, everybody's had the chance to speak. You brought my people in that we needed to, you even told David Collins off, which is booyakasha in my opinion, booyakasha. And what I have learned is that in addiction and recovery, there's never like a straight line with all this, and this is why we do these containers, isn't it? It's back and forth. It's upside down. It's all around. There's never like a right or wrong answer, and that's what man I love about this. So yeah, man, thanks very much. I'll tag Craig.
Yeah, I just want to say epic, Becca. Really. That's all I've got to say. And I think what I learned, maybe just going off with David, is that his job's gonna be tough sometimes. You know what I mean? It's part and parcel. You're gonna have days where you're flying, and then you're gonna have days when you're gonna have to do what I've done. So, it's feel a lot better for it now. Like just having that conversation. So, cheers. Kerry, sorry, I don't know if you've been.
Yeah, hiya, thanks. Yeah, you're doing absolutely amazing. You'd think that you were doing it all day, every day, really. I love the way the container was made and just seeing the unity in it and people discussing things and then what resonated with them, offering their advice or what they're doing. It was lovely. Yeah, thank you. And I don't think there's anybody else.
Daisy?
Well, from the short time I was here, I thought Becca really did really well summarizing what you guys had talked about. I mean, I don't know if it was accurate, but it sounded really good.
Paula?
Yes, sir. I know this is going to sound a bit odd, but because you've been so present, Becca, it almost sucked me into being present. And that was really awesome. That really was cool. So that's definitely a takeaway from me. And the other thing was, when you needed to kind of stop the flow to address something, whether it be somebody joining or whether it be someone that has said something that just sparked something else that needed to be mentioned by you, whatever it was, you just did that in a role as a facilitator, even though somebody else might have indicated that they were about to start speaking. And the lesson for me, a huge one for me, and that's my takeaway, might be just for the entire time today, I don't know yet, is that for me is one of the things I'm petrified of. I'm so fearful of interrupting people. But I've kind of realized it's possible to maintain the integrity of the container and the flow will resolve itself back into its natural flow in a natural way. It's not up to me to control or manage the flow. But if I'm present and I'm facilitating in the best way possible, that in and of itself is helping to manage the flow. So actually what I wanted to say was so much shorter, but all of that came out anyway. Awesome stuff. Really enjoying it, Becca. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. That was very insightful. Is that everyone? Becca, did you?
Oh no, I didn't go.
Yeah, go on then.
I feel great. This is honestly, it feels so lovely to hear all of that from you. and it being my first time facilitating, it's quite nerve-wracking. But actually, as Paolo said, that's a major thing, that the fact that I made him feel more present because I was present just feels fantastic. And actually, I do feel really present because I want to listen to everyone. I want to be able to support in the best way. Actually, it made me, I was totally there. So yeah, I really, really loved the experience. So yeah, I'm feeling great. Thank you for that opportunity. Thanks, David, for picking on me.
Wonderful. You can always rely on me to throw you in the deep end. All right, everyone. Let's take a 9-minute break and come back at 3 o'clock or on top of the hour, wherever you are. I think, Paolo, you're at 5 o'clock.
Correct. I will see you all then.
You good, Craig? You do your paperwork?
I'm just doing a second email now, so it's like a follow up.
All right. See you in a minute. Bye.
See you in a bit.
Oh, you didn't go on it? We've got like 5 minutes, yeah. I think it is. So, hold on.
Right. Starting to come back. Hey, Matthew. How nice to see you. Great. All right. Let's start the check-in. David, checking in. Looking forward to the last hour of the day. I'm going to tag Charlie. In fact, it's not the last hour. I've got group at 7 till 8:30, but at least I'm going to be having a break until then. Charlie.
I'm feeling you, David. I'm feeling you. I've also got AA tonight as well. I'm feeling uncomfortably full. Do you know what? I've just eaten a packet of Jaffa cakes I wish I hadn't eaten. So yeah, but I'm good, man. That was a great hour there. Thanks to Becca. That was fantastic. I'll tag Daisy.
Thanks, Charlie. I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, don't have much to say, to be honest. But yeah, happy to be here. I will tag Katie. Oh, still eating.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm eating because I've just not had any chance today. Still haven't finished. I've got to do an interview when this is done, and then I've got nothing for the rest of the evening. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, great first session. Looking forward to this second half. Thank you. And I will tag Kerry.
Hiya. Yeah, I'm feeling really good after having a cigarette. But yeah, thank you. Ready to go for the second half. Thank you. And I'll tag Matthew.
Hi there. Yeah, checking in. Yeah, feeling good. Good to be on the check-in again and on the meeting again. Yeah, sorry I'm late. I've had some things to do. So, but yeah, no, it's good to be here. Feeling good.
You and Kerry in the same room, Matthew?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you tagging?
I'm gonna go. Ali.
Was that me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Dreadful feedback because I think you're in the same room as she said. I'm feeling really quite tired actually, and feeling a bit. That always makes me feel a bit low, but I'm all right. I'm just tired. I will tag. Who's not been? Craig. I will tag Craig.
Thank you. I feel a lot more calmer now, to be honest. Well, that's just because I'm off tomorrow or what, but I'm just looking forward to the weekend. Just thought I'd let you know I'm running the 33-mile ultra marathon on Sunday, my first ever one. So shit myself a bit, but here we go. I think Gary, have you been? No, I'll go for Gary.
I'm checking in. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm actually laughing at Charlie with the Jaffa cakes. We do that exact same thing yourself. I tell my partner to buy them for the kids, and then I open them, and then that's it. It's just gone then, a whole packet. Yeah, now I'm checking in good. I love horses. I love getting to come on to this. Yeah, looking forward to the next hour. Well, is that everybody?
Steph?
Steph?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit overloaded and heavy, if I'm honest, because I had a really complex case come in, and that was an hour and a half today. And then me and Becca had a session with Lamplight, and then we had a debrief. And yeah, so I'm Pinky Perky's losing her perkiness now. I've got tomorrow off though, like Craig. So I've got my happy date day tomorrow. So yeah, I'm getting there now, getting to the end. I'm so sorry, David. I'm going to come to you.
Oh, yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to the last hour. Just trying to think how to do this container now. Paolo, did you check in?
I will now. Thank you, David. Yes, checked in. Happy to be here. Now I'm checking in, amped that I am here. I'm really looking forward to this next hour. Yeah, thank you all.
Cool. Is that everyone? I'm a little bit lost.
Just
Becca.
me, I think. Yeah. But yeah, no, feeling really good. I think actually the last hour has like energized me as well. So I think I'm on just a bit of a happy high from doing that. I think I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So yeah, feeling good. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, where should we go? There's two things we can kind of chat to give Craig some support about kind of what happened and where he is now, and my thinking there. And I could also really up the volume of the container in terms of personal challenge. And I'm just kind of a bit like, oh, where to go? My intention always is that we're here to learn, and yeah, and to really make a difference in the world professionally. Craig, let's go. Becca, Becca's got her hand up.
I was probably going to do exactly what you were going to do, David. I was just going to check in with Craig and just see how he did feel about us bringing that subject to the container.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I feel alright about it, to be honest. I don't know why, but I was going to cry earlier. Trying my best not to. I'm alright. I am, honestly, I'm all right. It's just when you come into this role, you have a perception in your brain of what it's going to be like, I think. And then when it doesn't, or something comes up which you think, fuck, like you deal with it accordingly. And I don't think I'm upset because of the scenario or the situation. I'm just upset because I'm thinking, have I done the right thing? Have I done the right processes? But like, I've just received an email response back and I have. So like instantly me anxieties and everything's just calmed right down. And I don't know where that comes from. Like I've always been a worrier. My mum's always said that. Like, I'm just worried about people in general. Like, you know, I just like to help people, you know, whether it's someone in the street, just and I think what it's also shown is that I do have a really fantastic level of support. And I think that's really crucial when it comes to being in this role. I mean, we went for this break and immediately Becca and Steph sent us a private message. I've had my head of operations check on in us. I've had me work colleague check in on us, and I'm just like trying to relay all the steps in my head, thinking like, did I do the right thing? Did I see the right thing there? Because I'll just fill you in with a little bit of context without going into too much detail. But there's a girl that's sort of like locking herself away in her bedroom, and when I say locking herself away, it's like she just wants to get away from the arguments. Basically, her mum and dad drink too much, and yeah, she goes into her bedroom a lot and isolates. And I asked her the question, was there any violence involved? And she assured us there wasn't. It was just more arguments. And I think it's a case of like she's arguing about the fact that they drink too much, and they're throwing it back in her face that she used to gamble too much. So it's a bit like a boxing match. And she has got a young son, which alternates between both households, like her partners and hers. But she never really raised any concern in regards to him. It was more with herself and her parents. So together, it was sort of trying to instigate a plan for her to bring to the container that, you know, she wanted to go down the route of trying to get her brother to speak to her parents when they're sober. And then she said that she might try and go out for a walk when they're sober, just to get out the environment that reminds them of the arguments, I guess, and the drinking, which I thought was a really good idea. And then I say luckily, you know, if she'd never been in that group coaching session, I would have never have known that she felt that way, because she didn't really tell us, and I can only go off what I know. And and she came into group coaching, and near the end she said that she'd felt unsafe. Now I don't know if that means in her recovery, I don't know if that meant her parents, but like I had to leave early because I was on a call at 1. So Joe wrote it down, and then together me and Joe came up with a plan to record it on Lamplight, which is like the document that we use to record all our sessions. And I raised the safeguarding issue, not because of her son, but I think it was because of her, because she was isolating, and I was like, as positive as she sounds, and you know, as open and honest as she was in that container between me and her, like she just mentioned the word unsafe, and that's what I like relayed back to me safeguarding officers when I emailed them back. But I've just been told that it's like a low level, you know, like there's no sort of violence, there's no harm, and I think they just checking in on her and then making sure that it's the first thing that I come to on the next call. I think that's a protocol to go, and obviously I do feel a lot better, but questions whether I would have felt worse, whether it had have escalated further. But I don't know if it's just because it's my first ever case or what, but I guess that's the reason that I like coming on this as well, because if this didn't happen, I would have probably sat with that for 2 hours. I would have spoke to someone eventually, but these containers give you the ability to be open and honest and speak about what's on your mind. And obviously it's all work related, coach related, and yeah, I was a bit upset, but I think that's just because I care as well. And I suppose question I'll ask is anyone else come up with a safeguarding sort of issue and how they've dealt with it going forward, or if I could have done anything different. Steph?
Yeah, it's just that's the nature of the beast of what we do, and I think that in those first instances, Craig, that it just leave a horrible taste in your mouth. But yeah, I mean, I've had to get social services involved when there's children, so you naturally want to make sure that you're looking at risk and safety. Like I had a case today with a client that came in that her email was so desperate over her partner who, and she'd mentioned that she was taking Cocodamol, she was taking drugs, she was gambling, and obviously, you know, my priority in that first call was to rule out any risk. And I think the way you're behaving is brilliant, because that's really the sign of a really great coach is you've got to minimize risk, and you've got to learn, we have to escalate that. That's part of the role that we do. So in my consultation, it was like I wanted to make sure that her partner was in a safe space. And had I not have thought that, then obviously I would have had to have directed the whole thing differently. I think safety is, you know, a big thing, and I guess every one of us has probably come up against it. And when you first have that, it frightens you a bit, but you've done exactly the right thing. As long as you're escalating, you've got all of us around you to support you with it. Yeah, and sometimes I've had to go against my client and gone to social services if there's small children, and I feel, you know, I've had to escalate that up, and then we've had to do referrals, and obviously the clients run off into the sunset, but I've done my job because there was a protection that was needed, so I could sleep that night thinking that I did everything I possibly could to put that protection in place because I felt there was a risk. That's sort of how I felt. I hope that helps a little bit.
No, it does. Do you know what it is? Like, I think it stems a lot deeper than just worrying about a safeguarding issue. Like, I think I've always looked for validation in my life. I've always looked for someone saying, yeah, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right. When actually, in fact, I probably know that I am doing the right thing. But like, you know, for you to just say that there, it does make you feel better. But I don't know, like sometimes I think myself, am I going to go through the rest of my life wanting validation? Like, because there's been many a times throughout my life where I've done the right thing. but I always question it. And like, I think myself, God, there probably could have been 100 more questions I could have asked, but I believe the questions I asked at that moment were the right questions to ask at that right time. And that led me to then opening that safeguarding case. So I guess, you know, when you talk about anything, it's like journaling, like when it's there in front of you, when you've spoke about it, you've got that evidence to suggest that you have done the right thing. And like now talking about it, I do believe I have. I think it's just because it happened so quickly. And then I had to jump on here. I didn't get a chance to actually process what was going on. And then I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to hold the container. I'm going to have to get people to check in. I'm not even present here. And like I said that because I felt it was relevant to say to the container. I don't want to just sit here and like bullshit and going, I'm there when I'm actually not. So now that I've done everything in my power, you know, and I've got a email back to say everything's good and just keep my plan going, I do feel good. I don't know. Like I say, I worry about people and I worry about myself because now I'm sitting here thinking, what about the next one? But like when the next one comes, I will deal with it, and I know I will. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just dealing with people. Like and that's the God's honest truth. I've never had to deal with people before because I've worked in a construction industry. So like, I might have said hello or whatever, but then I would just sit in the bathroom for 5 hours and then I'd come home and I'd only speak to my partner or speak to people in the shop. Whereas now I'm dealing with people's lives. I'm dealing with their concerns, and I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about myself in the past month, and I continue to learn more about myself today. So, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to bring Katie in.
Thank you. Yeah, I find that when I was living in a culture of addiction, you don't tell tales on people. You don't grass people up.
Yeah.
It was instilled in me. And I think that's something that I found difficult coming into a culture of recovery, is that you become accountable for those things, and you are put in positions where actually you have to bring things up, or you have to be accountable, or you have to do that. And I found that quite a difficult process because it's changing from, like I say, from that culture of addiction to the culture of recovery, behaving in a completely different way. And I found that challenging. So I think there's an element of that for me personally, along with the worrying about everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I normally do an introduction. So whenever I do my first appointment, it's more like an introduction. I tell them about Epic, I tell them about me, me going forward as their coach. And I think what I've learned today is that I think they know that if like a safeguarding issue happens, that's my job. But I think prior to the introduction, I'm actually going to add that in now because I've learned from it. So if I add this in and say, look, if there's something comes up that I think is a concern, then I will need to, you know, address it accordingly. And I think that's one thing I've learned because I do an introduction as to like the company, but I haven't really said that the company also does this, which is another part of the company. So yeah, I've learned something straight away, and I've just added it to my induction while I was on the break. So I just wanted to ask another question as well, which I guess sometimes early doors, especially, I found it hard to switch off. And I think if this safeguarding concern had happened 3 weeks ago, I probably would have thought about it for days. But like now, because I've spoke about it in here and I've spoke about my partner on the break, like I really do believe that when I turn the computer off today at 4 o'clock, that will be me. But I just want to ask if anyone's been in a similar position and how they've dealt with it.
Right, I'll come in here if I may. Just if that's all right, Daisy. So I just want to step back a bit and just talk about the past hour. Yeah. So you came into the container, Craig. Yep. And you were clearly quite freaked out. Yep.
Yeah.
You become the client.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it was about you and coaching you, and our safety is the most important thing in this environment, in this role. So we've got our own lived experience that we are bringing to the role, and we're showing up as professionals. So we're getting paid for our lived experience. Yeah. And we work in organizations that have policies, process, and procedures. Now, what we've got to watch out for is when our own personal stuff gets triggered and it comes into the role. Yeah. So I loved what Katie said around that challenge of turning poacher turned gamekeeper. Yep. In a culture, we never grass anyone up. Oh, fuck, now I've got to grass people up. So there's that challenge. Yeah. And for me, my shortcoming is going to be my kids were taken away by social services. So I'm very reluctant to go down that route and traumatize a family because of the judgments that we got around our using and the prejudice around that. So that is something that we need supervision and to talk around as a container, so we don't make those decisions unconsciously based on our personal experience. Does that make sense? Yep. Everyone still with me? All right. So I'm going to turn the volume up now, and I'm going to share some of my personal lived experience. Yep. And I'm doing it in the what's the word I'm looking for? In the spirit of education. Yep. So Saturday I was sitting with a client, and we were talking about their husband, who was very depressed and, hiding and really impacted. Then I got a phone call. My phone started ringing. I thought, hang about, let me answer this call. And it was my daughter-in-law. And when I picked it up, she was in tears. And I said, fuck, what's going on? What's going on? And she said that her brother, 26 years old, had just hung himself. Yep. And the first thing I thought was, oh, fuck, thank God it's not my son. Yeah. So that's the first lightning thought that goes through my head. And then it's like, fuck. Okay. So what do I do now? Yeah. So she's phoned me up as the father-in-law. I'm the first person she's phoned. Yeah. And we've just lost my nephew to suicide 3 years ago. And then my dad 6 months later through slow suicide through alcohol abuse. So it triggers a whole lot of personal stuff in me as well. Yeah. And she said to me, what must I do? So my first thing was, what do you want to do? Yeah. And she said, I don't know. I don't want to go round there. And then I stepped into the role of going, okay, well, fuck it. Listen here, you've got medical experience. You're a professional in this sort of area. Move your emotions to the side here around this and just go and do some practical things. Go to the scene of the crime. Go there as support to the family. And there's going to be a lot of emotions running around. Go and take on that. And she went from being very tearful to, fuck, okay, I got to do this and become practical. Yeah. And thinking about it and debriefing it, I still feel I did the right thing, where I got quite prescriptive and I moved from being the father-in-law, yep, that wants to help his daughter, to actually thinking, Jesus Christ, people only phone me when the shit's really hit the fan. Let me step into that role of what to do and be practical there. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Yeah. And if we step back and look at, fuck, how has this happened? Yeah, there were all sorts of things that had happened in the family for, you know, in the background which is fucking difficult. And I mean, basically, the guy just got married in October, so newlywed, and you know, there's a whole fucking story there. The reason I want to bring this in, yep, is just to balance the scales a bit. Yeah. So from my side, where I come from, I can get complacent and just think, oh, fuck it, you know, it's fine. What's your fucking going on your page? Yep. And become dismissive to it. The other side of it is putting too much energy into it and making something out of nothing. Yeah. And we need to find the center ground. But Craig, the reality is people are going to fucking die in this. Everybody dies. Yeah. When none of us get out of this alive. But the game that we are showing up to, going from a culture of addiction into a culture of recovery, into a culture of addiction, this is the stuff that we're going to be facing. Yeah. And I can feel I'm quite like, fuck, like Craig, we got you here. We need you here. You're a fucking great person. Yeah? Back yourself.
No, like I do believe I was in the middle there. Like, you know, you're saying like you can go to the one end of the scale. Like that was my concern. That was me thinking, am I overthinking this?
Mm.
And like when I broke it down into the stages, like when we've done the breakout room, I thought, no, I've done it right. Like
you've done fantastically. You've gone into process of what the role is calling for. Okay, guys, this is going off. I need to escalate to my manager and then follow the process. And that's the professional side of it. One of the challenges I have at the clinic, is people don't want to bring me bad news because they like me so much and they don't want to upset me and hurt my feelings. Yep. Next fucking thing, I find out the electricity bill is going to be cut off because I haven't paid it for 3 months because there's been cash flow problems. And I go, why didn't you tell me earlier? Oh, we didn't want to upset you. We don't want to stress you out, David. You've got enough stress already. That's not helpful.
I appreciate that.
I can feel quite animated now. Thank you for letting me bring my lived experience here. Yeah, it's it's a fuck up, and I don't know what like. I'm meant to be a professional in this field, preventing this stuff, but it seems to like be fucking happening in my family. Like, what the fuck? Like 3 suicides in our family. Like, what the fuck, people? Like, what the, like...
So David, after obviously sharing that with the group, I just want to check in with you to see how you're feeling.
I'm so fucking proud that we're all here showing up, trying to do something.
Good.
Yeah. I've got to watch out that I fucking don't get a hero complex and find myself in situations where I'm the guy in the crisis.
Does anyone else want to bring anything to the container following on from David then?
Check who's jumped into facilitation.
I'm going for it today, mate. Fuck it.
Yeah, he's fucking in there, mate. Okay.
I just sorted it.
Go for it.
I just think we're all human, and David, that's so sad. So sorry to hear that. Really is awful. What an awful time for you. Yeah, that is awful. And I think we are all human, aren't we? I mean, when I had to do that to social services, there was 2 little girls that had been locked in the car by their mother, and one was 18 months old, and the other I think was about 4 or 5. But she said to me, they're okay because I left them with an iPad, and I made them some sandwiches, and she'd gone inside and was fighting and rowing with her husband at the time. And then she brought the children in, and she was going to sneak them upstairs. And the 18-month-old fell halfway down the stairs. So she'd been in hospital with her, and there was other incidences. And I knew in my heart and my gut and professionally I had to do that. But Craig, it didn't stop me not sleeping well that night.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how did it make you feel?
Those 2 little girls played on my mind. Of course they did. And I knew I'd lost the client because it so happens that she was under social services anyway, so she needed serious education around parenting. But they were, I felt, at risk, and they were already with social services anyway. But it didn't stop me going to bed that night and thinking about those poor little girls being locked in a car, and one of them 18 months old, and we're all worriers, aren't we? Thinking, oh my God, what if she'd choked on the sandwich or something? Did she break the sandwich up? Stupid ideas entering my head, but they were real, weren't they? We're all humans.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when when I initially signed up to this job, like I thought it was just going to be like full of roses and rainbows all the time, but like I've soon got I wouldn't even say a shock. It's not a shock because I knew.
You better go back to painting and decorating.
I'm going to go back to plumbing. I thought that. But no, so Steph, obviously that was one of your first safeguarding cases.
No,
was that just an example?
Obviously, because I work with the family, so I have quite a lot. I do have I have to refer to Women's Aid a lot. I do hear some really horrible, abusive stories. But the children always get me. That sort of you'll have your Achilles heel, and that always does get me when there's small children involved. And it's tough, but it's great when you get people through and you get your highs, but they are tough, and that's when you've got people that you can turn to. And clinical supervisor, mine's worth her weight in gold, and I have an amazing husband who takes my well-being very seriously. So yeah, it's part and parcel of it, but escalating does get easier, I believe, and because you don't question yourself. Don't ever question yourself if you think someone's at risk. Never question that. I wouldn't, never question it. And the problem is you go into this, don't you, especially with Epic Restart Foundation, and this is our container. We go into this like, oh, you're not here to fix people. I'm sorry, but that's absolute toot, right? You can't help it. Oh, you're only there, as a coach. You're not. No, you care about these people. It's natural, isn't it, that you want to make things better for them? It's natural. And that's what you're finding, I guess.
So you've got role creep going on there. So just to give another example is I'll coach a CEO of an organization that's clearly got some challenges, and I get called in to coach, and I do the coaching stuff. So I'm not the professional. I mean, I don't know. They know. I sit, I hold them, I listen, I do all that sort of stuff. I coach them. We talk about the feelings, whatever. And then it becomes therapeutic for him. But I am not a therapist. Yeah.
Right.
I need to, so they might find it therapeutic where they're having a place to speak, but it's not, I'm not in a clinical therapeutic role. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we got to watch out for is the referring or like escalating, moving people onto different areas and then creating silos. It's like, oh, I don't listen to that. Oh, that's social services, or I don't do this. That's this one, or I don't, yeah, because I think the system here in the UK is very siloed already. I'm just going to bring Charlie in just because he's falling asleep and yawning there. Charlie, what do you think?
Think nothing. I don't think nothing at this time.
Too many Jaffa cakes, that's why.
What do I think about what do I think about the UK putting stuff in silos? That's that wasn't a, that was about how the UK do stuff and put stuff in boxes. I don't know. I don't really know because I'm just coming into this industry, this lived experience industry. I've been in recovery man a couple of years. Starting to build my own organisation through my lived experience. But I've been at the coalface. I've been at the coalface in addiction, and I've got addiction that runs through my family. So, what do I think? I just think there's no right and wrong answer. I just keep going back to that. There's no right and wrong answer. I believe that we are all here because we're not here for the financial gain. That's what I believe. When I was listening to you, I was like, we're all here not for the benefit of money. We're here because we intrinsically want to help people. We intrinsically want to see people safe and well. I know personally. Being in AA, for me, there isn't a better feeling than seeing someone getting well from being in the first 24 hours to the first month, the third month. That's why I'm in this lived experience. I'm in game. It's definitely not for the money. But am I working at the coalface? I just don't know because it's just a minefield. I just see it as a minefield. Safeguarding policies and all this stuff. I don't know a great man deal about. I just know that I just know that if we come here for the right reasons with the right education, that we are going to learn off the people. Then, yeah, that's about it. That was not bad for a Jaffa Cake brain there, was it? That was not bad for Jaffa Cake brain there. For what? 2024. I bet you weren't expecting that sort of answer, David.
What I would have gotten curious about is, and you've shared this before, but you being a kid that was put in care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being a kind of a product of the safety of the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how this conversation might activate that part of you and how that might unconsciously come into the coaching relationship. I'm not saying this is just an awareness that the process of this. So what are the parts of us that might unintentionally come in? Right, that was obviously a powerful question.
Can you try and reword it, David? I think sometimes that if you reword it, it may come across better for me.
Okay, so Craig, you said a while ago that you're constantly seeking affirmation or something, or validation. Or reassurance or something. Yeah. And that was a childhood, I'm going to say wound. Maybe it's not the right word, but it's a childhood trait or something.
Because I never had it.
Huh?
It's because I never had it.
Never had what?
So I never had validation. So I never knew if I was doing the right thing.
Okay.
So now when I'm asking for
all right. Okay, thank you. Oh, God, that makes me want to cry. Oh, mate. Okay, well, I think you're doing fucking great, mate.
Cheers.
But because that process, because it's maybe unconscious or something, it might seep into a professional role.
Yeah.
Is this making sense for everyone?
No, yeah, I get that. Yeah,
it's
so
a fucking heavy topic that we're talking about now.
If what I'm hearing is correct, like, so basically, I think that's why I was so engaged with the safeguarding thing as well today, because it was really very similar to my childhood.
Yeah, and you were feeling
And
unsafe.
yeah, I think that's what it was.
If anyone needed safeguarding, it was you.
Yeah, basically,
And
it
you
was like,
got it.
yeah,
And you got it. You came in here, you had the humility to say, fuck, and the container wrapped around you and supported you in a way that I feel very fucking proud of.
hmm
How does
yeah.
the
I
rest of the
love coming here.
container feel about it?
Fucking love it, me.
Yeah, so Dave, I just think to try and keep it simple for myself, I think the risk there is when the thing that can seep through into the container and the conversation are my biases. So when I keep it simple, I just look at my biases. And those may be based on a life experience I've had. They might be based on a wound that I have or had. They might be based on a belief system, a false belief system. They might be based on values that have just become distorted or warped over time. There's a great many sources for me, I think, and that for me is just overwhelming. So I just try and focus on any biases that I might think or feel are propping up. And for me, keeping it simple and around the biases helps me not confuse myself and then get myself overwhelmed. Not always easy at all, actually, but yeah, it's just for me anyway. I'm the turtle on the journey. So, but the most important thing is that on my shell, I'm walking around with this thing called awareness. The greatest gift I've received in recovery. Greatest.
Thanks, Paolo. All right. I think now is a kind of a good time to start the descent back down into Steph's going off Friday to go for husband day tomorrow. So we start our descent to kind of like go, but that was meant to be a joke. Fuck it. Obviously didn't land very well.
I laugh, David. Yes, the romance on the cards tomorrow in the Shilton household.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling quite animated about this. So let's just start to close the container down, go around the room, see what we learned. Yep. And Matt, I'd like to start with you, if that's all right. Oh, there he's going, oh, for fuck's sakes, he's picked on me again. All right, Matt, I'm not going to... You go when you want. Kerry, you go first then. All right, can anyone lip read?
Oh, fuck, sorry about that. Yeah, do you know what? I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I've loved hearing about people's experiences and your lived experience, David and Craig, and it's been really good. It's felt like a safe container to have brought anything up if I wanted to, and I'm looking forward to the next one on Tuesday. So thank you all very much, you lovely people.
Thanks, Kerry. All right, Matt, are you good to go or do you want to wait still?
Hello, thank you. Yeah, just thank you for everybody's vulnerability and like honesty, really, like and where where they've been at and things that they've been through. Yeah, I've learned a lot. I'm getting talk back, so it's quite. I can hear my own voice in two places.
It's weird. It's like you've hit the crack pipe, and it's fucking.
But yeah, so I need to get to more of these. I've been busy, so not been able to get on to just dipping in and out when I can. But yeah, I so really enjoy them every time I come on. It always feels like a safe space, but I do need to get more involved, and it's just nice being on this afternoon. So thank you.
Thanks, Matt. It sounded like you're in a concert hall there. All right. Who did Matt tag? Raise your hand if you felt Matt tagged you. don't leave him hanging. Go on, someone raise your hand. Go. There
Oh
we
no,
go,
I'm
Craig.
here. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go on, Daisy. You haven't spoke much, so go on.
That's all right. I was just going to say thank you for, bringing that to bringing that to the container. No, it's nice to know people can come in here and be vulnerable. And what you said earlier about crying, you're more than welcome to cry in here. I have cried in here plenty of times. It would be nice if someone else could as well. But yeah, no, really nice to be here. Hopefully next week I'll be here for the whole thing. So yeah, I will tag Becca.
Yeah, I'm checking out quite happy. Yeah, it was really nice to again have some really great feedback from everyone as well, and that everyone felt really supported in the first hour. So I really appreciate all of that kind of honest feedback. And it's given me a lot to think about, especially those kind of boundaries between if we are giving kind of some coaching to friends, or we see those kind of skills coming out and those tools, it's how to use them in the best way. And that's something quite new to me, especially in kind of the professional space. So it's how to navigate through that. So it's good that's at such an early stage that's already kind of coming into my mind as well. So yeah, so I've really enjoyed today. So thank you. And I will tag Steph.
Thanks, Becca. Yeah, I'm checking out. Feeling good. I really enjoyed the subjects today. I think talking about family and when it's appropriate to cross the line and when it's not. I thought that was really interesting, great subjects. And from Charlie, and also with Craig, I think none of us like talking about risk and safeguarding, but I thought that was a really important subject. I thought it was a really good subject as well, even though, bless you, it's not the best way. So I thought, I was really interested in the subjects that were brought into the container today. I thought they were really good, even though they were sad. And it's okay to have vulnerability within what we're delivering. So yeah, I thought it was we had some really deep subjects today. Oh, sorry, I'm going to tag Gary.
Thanks, Daisy. Yeah, I'm checking out good. Have to be honest, I kind of drifted in and out because when Craig was, kind of was talking about that validation and stuff like that, my whole mind just went down a fucking rabbit hole.
What was at the end of the rabbit hole, Gary?
Just a bit of self-reflection, bit of honesty. I was thinking when I first started my role in St. Calpit a few years back as a support worker, it wasn't that long clean, and I was thinking about how a lot of the times making the right decisions in my job were not as much about making the right decisions as they were more motivated towards looking for people to tell me I had made the right decision. I wasn't doing it so they could be like, I was doing my motive was so that they could tell me, well done, Gary, you're doing great. And kind of how did I come out of that? And I think you see that a lot with people. I think sometimes everybody's guilty of it. Everybody likes a bit of validation. It was the constant need for validation. So I kind of was reflecting on how did I go from there to having conviction in what I do now. What I do and work, whether I think it might be right or might be wrong, I have conviction, and because I believe I'm doing it from a good place. And I kind of got to that place, but I just stopped asking. When I made a decision, and what it used to remind me of, Neil used to remind me of, that withdrawal from drugs, you're antsy and you're irritable. So for me, not to say to someone, was that the right thing to do? Did I do all right? I got that same feeling of just uneasy and just, and I had to distract myself for a while, so I didn't ask them, did I do the right thing? Did I do okay there? Took a little bit of time, but I got there. Yeah. Very interesting.
So Gary, there's no drifting in and out. You went down a rabbit hole and you discovered something, which is very, very relevant to your role and professional, being showing up as a professional. I think that's a great learning, Gary.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
better
well,
thank Katie because she's about to pass out. It's like Katie's on the heroin. She's sitting there fucking nodding off. I'm going to go have a use up. She's been triggered. I'm triggered. Health and safety.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think I've actually
Relax.
worked pretty much solid since Tuesday, and my head is fucked, and I have still more to do. But I always take so much from this, and even in a little bit of drifting out, because I'm thinking, oh, I've got to do this next, and I've got to do that next. This awareness of myself, that I've got this awareness of how I look at things now. And I don't have to constantly be going, am I doing okay? Am I getting this right? You know, I'm getting that bit more confidence that actually, do you know what, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And seems to be working all right now. And my cat's choking as well. So if you can hear something, there's that going on too, because anyway, I'm gonna tag I don't know who's left. I have lost the plot. Ali, I'll tag Ali.
Yeah, you're losing it, Katie, mate. You're losing it. Thanks. It was really nice to just be quiet and really get into this today. It might be my last session for various reasons. I'm not here the next few weeks, and then I think I might be going on a year's secondment elsewhere. But I really enjoyed this last session. It's quite heavy stuff, but it made me think a lot, particularly what you were saying, David. My heart really went out to you with the family stuff and the suicide stuff. I really identified with some of it because of personal reasons, and it just made me think a lot about where I am in my recovery, where I am in my job. You know, when I started working in recovery like 3.5 years ago, I thought I could save the world. I mean, I'd been quite a long time sober, but it was my first job in recovery, and I thought I could. And I think I'm almost not at the opposite of that. Oh God, lights always go off in here. The entire place runs in a hamster and a generator, I think, and a wheel. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying there, but yeah, it just made me think a lot about where I am with my job in my recovery, as to how I feel about what I do for people in my personal life, in my recovery life, and in my work life. And they're all quite different roles, and you all talked really eloquently about that, Charlie, kicking it off. So thank you. I have really enjoyed this, even though I haven't said much. I really have. Charlie, have you been?
No,
I'll tag you.
I haven't. I was I'll check it. I was descending pretty fast, and I wasn't descending in the rabbit hole. It was more a building I was about to crash into. And then what I learned, even at 20 to 4, I can be garbled Glaswegian. I can bring out an answer that you may not understand, but it was a kind of top drawer answer, in my opinion, right to the net bush at Landgate at 20 to 4. Thank you, Gary. And what I have learned about the containers, I've always learned about the containers, that when we push people into the deep end of the scary, uncomfort human zone, people always rise, like when Becca has did, and Craig again, because there's no right answers in this. You know, you just make it up, you do it, and it's just brilliant to see, guys. So thanks very much. Next stage is bed for an hour before the meditation class.
Yeah.
Are you tagging Charlie?
I don't know. Who's David Collins? Craig, have you been?
No, nah.
I think it's Craig, Becca, and Paula.
Sorry, guys, I've logged my own.
When Gary was speaking about the rabbit hole, that I started kind of doing a rabbit hole when he was speaking. So I was like, fuck's sake. But then it made us realise that I didn't look for validation today. Like, actually, I went through it with conviction. I raised the safeguarding issue in the way that I thought was right. And I guess it's relevant to say, but I went on an event with Epic at the weekend, and we learned about the nervous system, and I also learned that the gut is your second brain, and that's the feeling that I was getting. My gut was telling us to go with it, and yeah, so I've learned always to go with your gut in this container. I've learned a lot actually. I always do, and I don't know if this is an option, but if I can, I'll probably continue it after the 10 sessions if I could. But because I always say that Thursday is like it's like my Sunday, if that makes sense. Like it just starts my week. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. But yeah, I just love Thursdays when I log on. I have good coaching, and then I come on here, and even though it started a bit shit at first, I've sat here and soaked everything in like I always do, and I feel better for it. And I'm going to turn my computer off and go for a run after this. So yeah, thank you. And I'll pass it on to Paolo.
Oh, thanks so much, Matthew. Yeah, checking out again the race record here. Really, really, really glad I was here today. I got so much out of it. And yeah, I hope you all have a beyond magical weekend, and we'll see you all next week Thursday.
Paolo tags Becca.
I went right at the beginning.
Who hasn't been?
You.
Okay, cool. All right, so it's 3 minutes to go. I'm going to take 10 minutes to check out, and you're all going to have to sit here and listen to me. Going, oh, when the fuck is he going to shut up and yeah, stop being so fucking Zoom polite? All right, you lot, fuck off. I'll see you next week. No, well done, everyone. Lots and lots of love. I'm so proud of what we're creating here. I'll see you soon.
See you next week.
Bye, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Lovely seeing you, Matthew. I mean it. I really, really mean it. It's lovely seeing you.
Say bye, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.